When Dorothy was left alone, she set about making ready for the journey to the City of Emeralds. She had only one other dress, which was hanging on a peg beside her bed. The girl dressed herself in the clean gingham with checks of white and blue, and tied her pink sunbonnet on her head. She took a little basket and filled it with bread from the cupboard, laying a white cloth over the top. Then she looked down at her feet and noticed how old and worn her shoes were.
They surely will never do for a long journey, Toto.
She said, and Toto looked up into her face with his little black eyes and wagged his tail to show he knew what she meant. At that moment, Dorothy saw the silver shoes that had belonged to the Witch of the East.
I wonder if they will fit me.
She said to Toto.
They would be just the thing to take a long walk in.
She took off her old leather shoes and tried on the silver ones, which fitted her as well as if they had been made for her. Finally, she picked up her basket.
Come along, Toto.
She said.
We will go to the Emerald City and ask the Great Oz how to get to Kansas again.
She closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully in the pocket of her dress. And so, with Toto trotting along soberly behind her, she started on her journey. There were several roads nearby, but it did not take her long to find the one paved with yellow bricks. Within a short time, she was walking briskly toward the Emerald City, her silver shoes tinkling merrily on the hard, yellow roadbed. The sun shone bright, and the birds sang sweetly, and Dorothy did not feel nearly so bad as you might think a little girl would who had been suddenly set down in the midst of a strange land. She was surprised as she walked along to see how pretty the country was about her. There were neat fences at the sides of the road, painted a dainty blue color, and beyond them were fields of grain and vegetables in abundance. Once in a while she would pass a house, and the people came out to look at her and bow low as she went by, for everyone knew she had been the means of destroying the wicked witch and setting them free. The houses of the Munchkins were odd-looking dwellings, for each was round, with a big dome for a roof. All were painted blue, for in this country of the East, blue was the favorite color. Toward evening, when Dorothy was tired with her long walk, she came to a house rather larger than the rest. On the green lawn before it, many men and women were dancing. 5 little fiddlers played as loudly as possible, and the people were laughing and singing, while a big table nearby was loaded with delicious fruits and nuts, pies and cakes, and many other good things to eat. The people greeted Dorothy kindly and invited her to supper and to pass the night with them, for they were gathered to celebrate their freedom from the bondage of the wicked witch. Dorothy was waited upon by a Munchkin whose name was Bok, as she watched the people dance. When Bok saw her silver shoes, he said,
You must be a great sorceress.
Why?
asked the girl.
Because you wear silver shoes and have killed the wicked witch. Besides, you have white in your frock, and only witches and sorceresses wear white.
My dress is blue and white checked,
said Dorothy.
It is kind of you to wear that.
said Bok.
Blue is the color of the Munchkins, and white is the witch color. So we know you are a friendly witch.
Dorothy did not know what to say to this, for all the people seemed to think her a witch, and she knew very well she was only an ordinary little girl. When she had tired, Bok led her into the house, where he gave her a room with a pretty bed in it. Dorothy slept soundly till morning, with Toto curled up beside her. The next morning she ate a hearty breakfast and said,
How far is it to the Emerald City?
I do not know,
answered Bok gravely.
for I have never been there. But it is a long way to the Emerald City, and it will take you many days. The country here is rich and pleasant, but you must pass through rough and dangerous places before you reach the end of your journey.
This worried Dorothy a little, but she knew that only the great Oz could help her get to Kansas again. So she bravely resolved not to turn back.